Right, 1 February 2022, and today I'm joined by Dr. Fedias Mteneri, my usual guest on Tuesday. How are you, Doc?
I'm very well, Gambakwe. How are you? Good to see you
Fantastic,
tonight, and greetings to the viewers as well.
fantastic. And the year is moving extremely fast. A lot of things are happening. As I said, this is not a usual year. It's a very, very different year from any other. So today, let's go through to our topic, which is a look at something that we've been discussing since last week. Nelson Chamisa has formed his new political party, the Citizens, I think the Citizens Coalitions for Change. And ever since, we've seen the campaign that they went on, which is to ask people to wear yellow on Fridays. Did they succeed with that campaign? Did you see a lot of yellow on Friday?
Okay, thank you very much for that, Gambakwe. Okay, probably firstly, you are very right to say this is a year with a difference. And by the way, I like your entrance music now. It symbolizes something new coming there. Oh well, talking about the coalition, the Citizens Coalition for Change, I think for a change, there's been a breath of fresh air into our politics. I think Chamisa and company have injected some interest once again, some excitement, and some electricity within the Zimbabwean body politic. And yeah, I think if you go onto the social media streets, if you go into townships, and a whole lot of places, you can see that yellow all of a sudden has become the golden color as it is anyway. And I think there's been quite a success. In fact, the response to the launch of the CCC and its yellow color has shown that there is a gigantic endorsement of this new movement, and probably Gambakwe, from what the architects of this movement are saying, it's not necessarily your political party, your usual political party. It's a movement, and I think it's in the making. And we are excited to see that injection of energy once again to challenge ZANU-PF's monopoly.
Okay, let's go back to the Fridays. Yes. Was there an uptake of the campaign, of the Yellow Friday campaign? Was it successful for a new political party which just launched? Did you see when they were wearing yellow? Did you see BT wearing yellow, Mahere, Ostalos, all these guys? Did you see them wearing yellow and going about?
Oh, most definitely. If anything, we are seeing, because remember, some of us we depend on what we see on the social media and from reports from back home. I mean, we have people who are on the ground. Definitely, we saw all of these people wearing yellow. I should say I saw the president himself woke up in a very dazzling yellow. I saw his vice presidents, which include Tendai Biti, Karenyi Kore, Welshman Ncube. I saw Bomahere, everybody. But it's not only about them, remember. It is about the ordinary Zimbabweans that we saw putting up with yellow. And not only the ordinary Zimbabweans. We have seen even people you would have not thought that they would just wear yellow going about their business. People from other political parties, you know, those in ZANU-PF, the likes of Killer Zivu, you know, the likes of Walter Mzembe. I mean, it's interesting to see what is happening, and now people, all of a sudden, everybody is wearing yellow, and even though some may try to dissociate themselves by wearing yellow from being part of CCC, but we know what is in the making. This is a coalition for all citizens. The Fridays have been a resounding success, Gambakwe, from what we see.
Okay, now you are seeing Chamisa there showing the symbol of the new party. What do you think? Is that something that will make sense? Is that something that will catch out, which will be accepted across the whole country?
Gambakwe, listen, anything when it is new, a revolution when it is new, some may look at it with disdain, some may doubt it, some may not think it is going to carry the day. But I can tell you, it only needs few days, few weeks, few months, especially with the hysteria of the election, first of the 26th March and of the coming year. You will see that all these signs, all these colors will be popularized, and soon they will be part and parcel of our politics. And yes, I think they are bringing something new, and let's see where they are going with it.
Okay, then let's go to the slogan. And I want to replay the slogan. I hope I still have it somewhere here. Do you think the party members will understand it? Let me play it so that we hear if the members will accept it, will understand it, and be able to do it.
Shandukom Zimbabwe! Shandukom Zimbabwe! Shandukom Zimbabwe! 2023! 6 million votes! 2023! 2023! 2023! A great new Zimbabwe! Thank you very much.
All right. Is it not like something very complicated?
Not at all. Like, look, for me, Gambakwe, all these, the slogans, the signs that you are talking about, of the finger, the colors, they all come in to spice a philosophy that is behind the formation of this new movement. And for me, it is that particular philosophy, that particular focus of the movement that is important for me. And as you can hear from this slogan, definitely it's something new. It's something that has to be learned. But like as I've told you, it will soon be learned. But for me, and something that stands out is how the vice president of this movement has come out to lay down the philosophy, to lay down the thrust of the new movement, how it is setting out a radical change from the previous toxic politics, in which ZANU-PF had become actually a central player, using its puppets in the form of Douglas Monzora and them. And this is a total break. But remember, Gambako, what I said when last week we talked about the launch of this party, that it's a new party. It will face attack. It will face a resistance. It will face all sorts of shaking. And we have already seen much of that. So for me, the point that is there is that all these slogans, the colors and everything, they come in to spice a philosophy. For me, it is that philosophy, that new thing that they are starting, which everyone is following, trying to see what is it that they are bringing. And definitely, if what Tendai Biti has said is anything to go by, very soon we will see a new way of doing politics, probably a new way of doing slogans, such as these big, huge slogans, which people are still trying to catch up with, which have a meaning about building a new Zimbabwe, building a new culture, building a new way of doing things, and I think yes, people will catch up with these slogans as spices to this thing.
I do agree with you. The slogan is bad. It will need to be worked on, and there's no way you can make that catchy.
What are you
What was
agreeing with me on? What are you agreeing me with on?
that the slogan is bad and it's complicated.
Zimbabwe, don't, don't,
Yeah,
don't tell
because
me.
what kind of slogan is that which I can't even remember? It's like fair, 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 fair. You can understand that and you can recite it. Ngapi ndake mkomana, you can recite that. It's easy. Shandukom Zimbabwe 2023, all that is quite complicated. I think they need to do something there.
But that is the new way of doing things. It now needs people who with brains, people who are, who are quick to grasp. And Gambakwe, obviously, I'm sure very soon you will be, because I see you like it. I see you like the slogan. This is not the first time, and I see the smile you put on when you are playing it, and you like it, Gambakwe. Don't tell me that it's bad. This is a good I think a slogan which is based on a good philosophy that we are going to build Zimbabwe.
Okay, Doc, let me clarify something. I hate incompetence, and I hate people who lose opportunities. That's why you see me criticizing Chamisa a lot, because he was given an open goal in 2018. People loved Chamisa, and after 2018, he failed to strategize his way out of that situation. That is why we are here where we are. And tomorrow I'm going to be bringing a bit more detail on why Chamisa is failing to move on. Remember, we had to drag Chamisa out of MDC Alliance with constant and weekly videos on why he must change his name. Now we have to drag Chamisa out of saying he won the 2018 elections, because that is going to make him lazy to work in 2023. And people around him, they're allowing Chamisa to continue saying he won in 2018 when he didn't win and he's not the president of the country. So that's why you see me, I constantly criticize Chamisa, because strategically he's making errors. That is my belief. And I do not want to continue supporting something that I'm seeing is wrong or is unstrategic or is not helping or helpful. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, Doc.
Well, your views, and very much entitled to them. Gambakwe, let me take you a little bit back to what you are saying. Definitely in 2018, or in the build up to 2018, Nelson Chamisa commanded huge support, huge following, loved. He himself is a charismatic leader. And he led a huge movement towards that election, even under very, very difficult circumstances. Remember, Gambako, we had just come out of a coup, and you still remember the likes of Mukupe and others with acid big tongues, who would tell you that the army would not take power from President Mugabe to then hand it over to Chamisa. We know very well how that election, it was going to be difficult for Nelson Chamisa without the support of the army, or without the buy-in of the army. And remember, the army, after taking the power through a coup, would not have easily handed. But there is no doubt from what we have seen that Nelson Chamisa won that election. Even ZANU-PF itself, from what we have now known, we know that Emerson Mnangagwa lost that election hands out. So it is just about how were they going to wrestle state power away from the army-supported ZANU-PF. And you know very well how difficult it is. You know very well how even Trangirai has suffered under that. And you must understand that people like Nelson Chamisa are creating a new culture of democracy, in which they do not want to get into power through other means except through a very credible and democratic process, because from then they can build a better and new Zimbabwe. Now, coming to your concerns about incompetence, if I wonder how one defines incompetence. Nelson Chamisa over these past 2-3 years, he has been under siege. He has been basically a marked man. Look, all other political parties, very new political parties we have seen, there has not been any focus on them. Even the judicially constructed party of Douglas Monzora, we have not even seen anything about them except for them being mouthpieces of ZANU-PF, or when they want to implement ZANU-PF's strategy to destroy the MDC, as it was the MDC alliance. And we see them even today saying very stupid things like, any CCC MP who would win, we are going to call them. Stupid calls that you can tell that it is ZANU-PF sending them to say that. And for you to say there is incompetence within the Citizens Coalition for Change, it is a very offside statement. It is an uncalled for statement. If anything, Nelson Chamisa, the fact that he has stood or withstood such a barrage of attacks, left, right, and center, and from internal and external, it shows you how competent someone is. And the fact that he has managed to keep together, you know, the leadership and the followership that he had when he was in the MDC alliance, which has now migrated to this new movement with others who find it being a citizens coalition a much more bigger tent to join. I think that is a form of competence that should be applauded. The fact that they've come up with something that resonates with the generality of Zimbabweans, be it the ordinary Zimbabweans in the rural areas, those in the urban areas, be it people in other political parties, be it people in civil society, in churches and everywhere. What incompetence do you want? This is creativity of the highest order, and as we are going to see, I think they are coming up with quite a lot of strategies. I saw the youth in Kwekwe with their campaign in which they are saying Simuka Zimbabwe, Simuka, you know, they are coming up with these activities which re-energize, rejuvenate, you know, an otherwise apathetic electorate. And I can see the electrifying of that political environment once again. And for me, that is the competence that you need. And already you can see they are sending envoys, they are sending their people into the most remote places, remote areas, to now plant the message of the Citizens Coalition for Change. And I think there is a lot in the making. And I've said this last year, Gambakwe, that there is something I see which is not a form of a normal political party, but a sort of a coalition, a sort of an alliance of people that would have never thought would be allies. That is coming, and that comes with a lot of planning. That comes with a lot of putting heads together. And therefore, Gambakwe, I think Chamisa has put up a team of competent people that is going to help Zimbabwe move into another, you know, level of governance.
Okay, Doc, I want us to now go to protection of the intellectual property. You saw me right now. I was playing around with the website ngapindehakemkomana.com, and it's not registered. Do you think they should have registered that?
What do you mean by they should have registered that? We go back to the laws of Zimbabwe. Remember, in Zimbabwe,
no, I mean the domain. I don't mean the party. I mean the domain on the website. Ngapindehakemkomana is their slogan, right? They use that a lot. Yeah, it's not registered. You can see it there on the site. I've put it there. If I want now, I can just say pay, and I pay $15 US dollars, and it's mine. Don't you think someone in MDC, in CCC, should be responsible for looking at intellectual property and saying we should grab the websites, the Facebook pages, the email addresses, the Instagram pages, the Twitter accounts around their key slogans and names?
Well, in as much as Gambakwe, I will agree that for their symbols, because our political system allows for protection of your symbols, and remember, they are yet. This is a new movement that is there, and they have pronounced through Ostalos I've heard that they are yet to publish their symbols. They are yet to release their electoral symbols, for which I am sure they will protect them. But remember, this is politics, Gamba. You can, as much as possible, steal a slogan, but you can't steal people's hearts that easily, because people know what they want. So anybody can take Ngapi Komana, but already it's out there. People know which Mkomana. There are so many Makomanas out there. Gamba kuri Mkomana, but kunotozikama kuti Mkomana wacho watiri kutaura ndeupi. Now, having said that, I think by the time they bring out their symbols for the Citizens Coalition for Change, yes, there would be need for protection of that. I think we saw it when just a month ago, when there was a fear by the regime that they were going to go for the CCC. We saw the CCC being registered as Citizens Convergence for Change, and they didn't know that they had something up their sleeve. And yes, I think the MDC will need to now work on that. Rather, the CCC will need to work on protecting what is their very most important symbols for electoral purposes. But on political grounds, Kambakwe, I can assure you today that it's known who is who.
Okay, let's conclude, Doc. I've got a serious situation that happened here. One of these airlines in Zimbabwe, they actually left before the time they were supposed to leave, and my family was stranded in Zimbabwe. So now I need to rush to the airport, and I think that's first jet. So I need to rush there because they all spend the whole night in Zimbabwe now. Because
sorry about that. I hope they are safe, and this is South Africa. Will you be safe in the night, Gambakwe?
Well, I don't know how I've been safe for these past 16 years, but I can survive. All I'm trying to say here, Doc, is I hear what you're saying. It's an appealing message to an MDC supporter. What you're saying, you are getting 10 out of 10 to every MDC supporter, to every CCC supporter. They love you for what you're saying. But when we're talking strategy, we're talking about systems, we're talking about structures, we're talking about objectives, we're talking about the constitution. Are these in place? Has Chamisa put in place a constitution which is known by the members? Does the party now have the structures? Do we have a ward, a province? Do we have a national council? Do we have a national executive? Do we have all the structures that are needed in a party? And has he properly communicated this within this short space of time, as promised?
Okay, good question, Gambakwe. Like I'm saying, I think there is a tendency by the media and everybody to want to put pressure, to pile pressure on Nelson Chamisa, obviously for the obvious reasons that it's known that he is the best foot forward for opposition today. But look, they are a new movement, and ZEC would not have registered them without a constitution, for which they came out and said ZEC was demanding for a constitution. And yes, they have a constitution. Let me take you back to 1999. There was a People's Convention which was supposed to be a preliminary convention before the formation of the movement for democratic change, which would later be launched in September. Look, February till September. CCC was announced on the 24th of January, and it's hardly a week after they have announced their launch. Now, let's give them time. but they already have an advantage in that. It's a migration of mostly what was the MDC alliance grouping, obviously because of the toxicity that was being created by Douglas Monzora and ZANU PF. And for now, let's give them time for them to organize and go for a congress, set up their wards. I think they are starting from a better place. But like Nelson Chamisa said, it is easy for them now to take off, because they already had structures within the previous party where they were. So definitely, if we give them time and let them announce whatever their strategies and their plans are at the right time, they should be able to bring out what their strategy is. So I think they are on course. Let's just give them time.
Right, Doc. It's been interesting. And you see, I actually don't hate Nelson Chamisa, and everyone knows. But I just think that he's not going to win the election. He's not doing the right things. He's not strategically building up enough support, especially winning over ZANU-PF supporters. The supporters of CCC are toxic. When they go to the public, the way they conduct themselves, they cannot debate. They cannot look at the comments that we have now. You can see a CCC person does not have the right values. I don't know how Chamisa is going to change that. That hooliganism that is there in the MDC, in the CCC supporters, it's putting off a lot of people.
Gambakwe, social media, we know it has trolls, it has all those people, some who are sent to just, put up such messages that are supposed to, to confuse and to disturb. But to mention or to say that they are CCC supporters simply because they are insulting, I think it's not really correct. But I should categorically say, in any platform, and I've said it over and over, Gambakwe, that we should be tolerant to other views. And even tonight, I won't hesitate to say to all those who love and support Nelson Chamisa, we are aware that most of them are heartbroken. They are really fed up and annoyed by the way that Douglas Monzora and ZANU-PF have treated Nelson Chamisa and his political party. And they are in a defensive mode. But in that, of course, they have to be reminded that in the end, if they were to get into power, there is a new culture to create. There is a new culture of tolerance and not retribution, a new culture of governance and not this autocracy that we have seen. But if you say directly that CCC supporters are, are misdirected, as you are saying, it seems like you have forgotten what ZANU-PF is like. It's like you have forgotten how ZANU-PF over the past 42 years has treated the opposition. They have treated them as second-class citizens. They have trampled on Zimbabweans' human rights. They go about their business with impunity, murderous acts with impunity. They beat up people with impunity. Pictures are there. It's all out there in the public domain, how ZANU-PF supporters treat people. And it's said that sometimes when we do our analysis, we forget that. And then we look at CCC supporters whose only weapons are probably the social media, whose only weapons are their phones in which they tweet probably out of frustration. But out there are those within the ruling political party who actually have state power, who go about the streets and can threaten people. not only threaten, can go ahead to harm people physically, but they are, I mean, we pay a blind eye to that. And here we are trying to say, see, people are misdirected. How many people have they killed? How many people have they maimed? How many people have they beaten on the streets? Yet, just for a demonstration with a placard, they are easily arrested. So let's not forget that when we do our analysis, in as much as that we put, I totally understand you, Gambako, because you are putting a high moral bar, a high moral standard, a high moral scale on CCC, for which, yes, the Citizens Coalition should be grateful that there is a moral bar which is so high and must maintain it. But when we are analyzing, us as you as journalists and analysts out there, let's realize that these are people who for the past 20 or so years of the existence of the MDC and now the CCC have been decimated, have been trampled upon. They have suffered a lot of violence. They've suffered a lot of maiming, even death. And therefore, I think let's give them a benefit of the doubt.
Right, Doc. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, and for everyone who's been watching. Thank you very much for watching, and please like, comment, and share on our posts. I'll see you again next week, Doctor. And for now, let me rush to the airport.
Thank you very much. Please drive safely. I'll see you next week. Good night.
Shanduko Zimbabwe. Shanduko Zimbabwe. Shanduko Zimbabwe. 2023. 6 million votes. 2023. 2023. 2023.
Uyo uko kuno aho pano mamuona kere nai anovura meso anovura nzeve anogaya marigi Kama
kwe uyo anotara mari anogaya mari garai mamunzwa paninyaya pano zvamunoda kunzwa zvinotaurwa pano madiko kumunzwa mugova ne.com Kambakwe vanogaya mari vanotara mari vanosiya mari Kambakwe vanotara fea kuti pamberi zvichafamba sei vanhu muterere zvikubatsirei mukufamba kwenyu zvikubatsirei mirai ndikudze kuti chokwadi pano chizere Kambakwe vanogaya cash